Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a holly Who wreath. "And they're hanging their stockings," he snarled with a sneer. "Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here." Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, "I must find some way to keep Christmas from coming. For tomorrow I know all the Who girls and boys will make bright and early. They'll rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, noise, noise. There's one thing I hate, all the noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something I hate most of all. They'll stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'll stand hand in hand, and those Whos will start singing. And they'll sing, and they'll sing, and they'll sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas thing, the more the Grinch thought, "I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop Christmas from coming, but how?" Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. "I know just what to do," the Grinch laughed in his throat. "I'll make a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat." And he chuckled and clucked, "What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer." The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there were none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, "If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead." So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Get up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a-snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care when he came to the first little house on the square. "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed as he climbed to the roof, an axe in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the sleeping Who sat up shocked all in a row. "These ones," he grinched, "are the first things to go." Then he swung and he chopped with a smile most unpleasant. After the manslaughter, he took every single present. Pop guns, bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums, and he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very numbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. The Grinch then snuck right inside the Who's room. The Who's woke to see the Grinch with the broom. He swung at the Who and ran down the hall, hid in the closet, but but the Grinch kept hitting the door with a ball. For who forced the who doors? Welcome Christmas, come this way. For who forced the who doors? Welcome Christmas, Christmas Day. The who hid till the Grinch was gone. He shivered, quaked, and begged for the light of dawn. The Grinch waited silently for the who, then ran up with an axe and split his head in two. Oh dear, why made a mess? The Grinch cackled. He eyed at the presents, and you take a guess. One present for me, oh, another one for me, and another one for me, oh, frabjous day caloo-calais. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the who's feast. He took the who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot? The fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side, so I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he placed a plastic bag over her head. She struggled, kicked, and gagged for help. No one came to her aid. The Grinch ended it with a sweaty gulp. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other who's houses, leaving bodies and crumbs much too small for the other who's mouses. It was 1:15, all the who's chopped to bits, but the Grinch didn't give 2 shits. Packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their snuff and their fuzzles, their tringlers and trappings. 10,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the who's, he was grinchily humming. I can imagine the looks on their faces. They're just waking up to see me act straight in the air, and I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the who's down in Whoville all cried, boo-hoo-hoo. That's a noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply wanted to hear. He dumped all their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their snuff and their fuzzles, their tringlers and trappings, all down Mount Crumpet, so down that no one will ever find it. After that he cooked the food for the feast, and he himself, the Grinch, carved dead little Cindy Lou Who, who's no more than 2, as the roast beast.